Well, Nicholas, I want to get to some testimony that happened just within the last hour. The last witness called to the stand today was a forensic biologist.
A hot item, or more specifically, a hot vehicle, is at the Schwann Buick GMC Cadillac dealership in Mandan.
Check it out, just because you said I couldn't do it. Granted, most of it was already done. And speaking of the Strong Museum, they'll be expanding the space from 24,000 square feet to a whopping 90,000. Very late in the day, a supervisory special agent with BCI testified. He says that Isaac's freezer was searched, and inside that freezer they found a plastic container. In that plastic container, broken down parts of a handgun. We heard about a sample taken from Isaac's truck that tested presumptive positive for blood, and that's one element of the case that has been missing so far. For such a violent crime, we've heard very little about the blood evidence. He tells me that they've had to sort of shift focus. He says initially their focus was on ensuring that Kurt Gross-Hans received a fair trial. There was a car matching that description stopped in the area. Just in the last half hour, a man has been booked into jail following a warrant being issued for his arrest this afternoon. Inside the walls of the state penitentiary,
you're listening to the Chains to Change podcast.
In this converted cell are the padded walls of the audio booth.
Recorded from inside the walls at the North Dakota State Penitentiary in Bismarck, North Dakota.
The brainchild of Antonio Stridiron, who got Zach Schmidtkuhns on board with the idea.
I kind of just found some examples of a business plan, and I just did the best I could.
The Chains to Chained podcast launched in August, but was years in the making.
I wrote letters to Prairie Public, the Arts Council, and then they got a hold of the director here.
Zach has spent roughly 20 years behind bars and has an estimated release date of May 2029.
We're going to be everybody's neighbor someday. All these opportunities we're getting in here and the stuff that we're allowed to have makes people be able to serve their sentences in a more humane way.
According to federal statistics, the overwhelming majority of state prisoners will be released and re-enter society at some point in time. Antonio is one of those few who likely will not. He's serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
It means the world to me because, a lot of times people only knew us as what we did, the result of our court case, but they don't never get to know who we are and what we are doing since then.
Both men serve as mentors in the prison.
It's kind of funny to have to say this, but I had to come to prison to have my family say they were proud of me. So I know they are very proud of me because I get it a lot now since I've been in prison. I wasn't getting it when I was out, but I get it now that I'm in prison. Even after the mistakes I've made in life, I just still see the goodness in me. So it makes me feel amazing.
From inside the prison walls, they're now reaching the outside world.
If you stay focused and put your mind and your heart to it, you can actually be somebody.
Sharing their stories, their voice, and their message with others.
We are the Chains to Change podcast, and we want to hopefully let the world know that you're changing lives and give us a second chance.
Yeah, that's how I remembered him.
Like that?
Yes, if I see him right now, I'd recognize him.
It's been 13 years since Mary Jeanette Duhan, or Jeanette as she was known, was shot and killed in a Lake Charles home. Billy Johnston lives in the neighborhood and remembers that day well.
It was a bad situation, and I think about it every day.
Duhan was a mother of 3. Her children remember her as loving, giving, someone with a great sense of humor.
Very happy, very outgoing. She never met a stranger.
They say life's been difficult without their mother.
She was the person I would talk to about everything. She was the person that knew me the most of the world. She was my best friend.
It was early morning, June 5th, 2011, when authorities received a 911 call about a shooting. The victim, Duhan.
He basically forced his way in and shot her with a shotgun.
For Sheriff Mancuso and Calcasieu Parish authorities, Duhan's murder isn't a case of whodunit. Joe Constance, Duhan's estranged husband, is wanted in connection with her killing.
It's not an unsolved murder, it's a fugitive that's on the loose and we can't find.
Several others were inside the home at the time of the murder, including Johnston's own son.
And as time goes on, people say you might forget it. You don't ever forget something like that.
Johnston remembers authorities arrived a short time after.
But he got away quick. I'll never forget they had a big search, helicopters flying around, cars flying around. Everybody was trying to find the guy.
They located Constance's truck abandoned on a nearby road.
Literally, we have his truck there with everything in it and nothing else. Just gone.
Investigators have continued to follow up on leads in the time since. Constance appears on the FBI's most wanted list, and in April of this year, the FBI increased the reward for information leading to his capture and conviction from $20,000 to $30,000.
I just want some sort of closure to, just to know if he's still alive or he's dead or what the hell happened to him.
When something like this happens, people look to you for closure. They want you, you're the person that's in charge of righting the wrong. And so it makes you feel like you failed. This is going to take somebody that knows where he's at to turn him in. I just hope I'm around to see the day that he does get picked up. Hopefully we'll get those answers. Right now we just don't have them.